Let's talk about various ways to use Git. We can use Git on the command line, so we open a terminal or command prompt window to execute Git commands. This is the fastest and sometimes the easiest way to get the job done. That's why a lot of people use the command line. Now, if you don't like the command line, well, you're in luck, because most modern code editors on IDEs have built-in support for basic Git features. For example, in VS Code, we have this source control panel, which gives us the essential Git features. There are also extensions available for bringing additional Git features. For VS Code, the most popular extension is GitLens. It brings a ton of Git features in VS Code. There are also graphical user interfaces specifically made for using Git. Here on the Git website, you can find the complete list of these tools for different platforms. We have tools for Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. Out of all these, the two most popular tools are GitKraken and SourceTree. GitKraken is my personal favorite GUI tool for Git. It's beautifully designed, it works across different platforms, and it integrates with other GitKraken products such as GitKraken boards for issue tracking and GitKraken timelines for project management. It's free for open source projects, but for commercial projects, you have to pay an annual fee. Just to let you know, I'm not an affiliate of GitKraken, I'm just a fan. The other option is SourceTree. It's completely free, but it's only available for Windows and Mac. So if you're a Linux user, you have to use GitKraken or another GUI tool. In this course, we'll be spending most of our time on the command line for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that pretty much all of these GUI tools have some limitations. They support the Git commands that people use most of the time. So even if you want to use a GUI tool, there are times you would have to roll up your sleeves and get back to the command line to get the job done. The other reason is that the command line is always available, but there are situations where a GUI tool may not be available to you. You might connect to a server remotely, and you may not have permission to install a GUI tool. If you don't know how to use the command line, then you're stuck. In practice, a lot of people, including myself, use both the command line and a GUI tool, and that's what I'm going to show you in this course. There are times that it really makes sense to use a GUI tool and not the command line, but there are other times that using the command line is faster and easier, so we'll use the command line. At the end of the day, you should use the right tool for the job. Don't be like this guy. You probably know him. Our popular superstar developer called John Smith. He thinks he's better than everyone else because he does everything in the command line. He never uses a GUI tool and he looks down at people who do. Well, let him think whatever he wants if that's what makes him happy. Who cares? So we'll be spending most of our time on the command line, but when it makes sense to use a GUI tool, I'll be showing you examples in VS Code and GitKraken because those are the most popular tools. Now, if you have never worked with a command line before, don't worry, I'm going to hold your hands and teach you everything step by step. It's a lot easier than you think. So next, we're going to install Git.